Hello everyone, and welcome to the 9th episode of my GoW 3 gameplay series. What I've got for you today is a King of the Hill gameplay on Mercy, and at the moment I'm on my own, but Drakov will join me in a few minutes. Now I am playing the objective quite heavily in this game, and I do get a lot of caps, and really I get almost as many caps as I do kills. But it's also a good show of support work, and I end up doing quite well. So I hope you enjoy the gameplay, but I'm not really going to be talking about that because really I want to talk about Gears of War Judgment and carry on that conversation. But I guess the first thing I would like to do is just apologise for the length of time that's gone past since my last Gears of War video. I think it's about over 2 weeks now since my last Gears of War video, and almost 3 weeks since the last video in my GoW 3 gameplay series. And I can only apologise for that. I have been very busy, and I wanted to get out 2 Forza videos since we had 2 Gears of War videos together. But I'm here now, ready to discuss Gears of War Judgment, and in particular all the multiplayer game modes. So let's start with the thing that's brand new to the franchise, Overrun. Now Overrun is completely different to anything that we've seen before from Gears of War, mainly because it's class based. It's basically Horde vs Beast, and it's definitely going to take some getting used to. So the general premise of Overrun is that you've got a team of locusts trying to destroy a generator, and you've got a team of cog trying to stop them from doing that. Once the locusts have destroyed the generator, then the teams switch around, and it's the cog's turn to try and destroy it. The team that will win is the one that destroys the generator the quickest. Or, if one team doesn't destroy a generator and one does, the team that destroys the generator will automatically win without time coming into it. Now the reason that this mode is so different to others is because it's class based. You've got Baird, who's the engineer. Now he has a Gnasher and a blowtorch, and that blowtorch allows him to repair fortifications. Now he can also deploy sentries. Cole is the soldier, and he has a lancer and a bushka. He can also deploy ammo for himself or his teammates. Garen Paddock is the scout. He has a Markser sniper rifle and a snub pistol, and he can use spotting grenades to help spot out where the other team are. And finally there's Sophia Hendrick, who's the medic. She has a lancer and a sword off, and she can use stim gas grenades to heal or revive teammates. So those are the cog classes, and now I'll just take you through quickly what the locust classes are. Now on the first rung there's basically 4 locusts that you can access at any time. Those are tickers, wretches, grenadiers and cantuses. Cantuses? Oh, who knows. And then on the second class, once you've got enough points, you can unlock rages, corpses, giant centipedes or maulers. Now these last 4 are a lot more powerful and will do a hell of a lot of damage, but again, like Beast, you have to unlock them by getting a certain number of points. Now as you probably know from my last Gears of War video, I actually did play an early build of Overrun, and I have to say I was impressed. Now the class based system is something that we're all going to have to get used to, but it does work very well in that setting. Now when I played Overrun, it seemed like the locusts were definitely overpowered. So if you were to have, say, 2 absolutely identical teams going against each other, the generator would pretty much always be destroyed, and it would just be based on time as to who did the best. And this is mainly because of the higher class of locusts, like the Cerapede and the Mauler. They are extremely powerful, and once they are unlocked they can do a hell of a lot of damage, and it would take a very very good team of cog to be able to stop them. But I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing. Both teams are allowed to be the locust during the game, so it's whichever team can use the locust and the cog better that will eventually win. It doesn't really matter that one side or the other is overpowered. And on that note of teamwork, Overrun is almost certainly going to be dominated by teams. I think there's a lot of potential there for teams to really dig deep and get some really good combinations of cog and locust together and good plays going on the maps. But if you're not really working as a team, so say there's 5 single players, not just randomly running about doing their own thing, they pretty much won't stand a chance against a team. This is completely, normally when you're playing TDM or something like that, even single players will have a bit of a chance to win the game, but on Overrun I just can't see it happening at all, to be honest. But we will have to wait and see, you never know. I might be proven wrong. And on that note, I think I'll finish with Overrun now and move on to the other game types, which are more standard. So when you consider the standard game types, which we're pretty much used to from all the previous Gears of War games, we've only got three game types. That's free-for-all, TDM and domination. Now that does seem a little on the low side to me, but I think the main problem with Gears 3 is that there was far too many playlists, and they didn't really have the population to support them all. They seem to have gone the opposite way now with Judgment and literally just gone down to basically 4 playlists if you include Overrun. And I think, personally, I think that might be better. I know it isn't very many, but maybe they'll introduce another game type with DLC. But I think the smaller number of playlists is definitely more suitable for Gears of War based on its population. My hope is that we'll just be able to get ranked matches all of the time in any game type. If that happens, then I'll be happy with their implementation of it, to be honest. So let's talk about free-for-all. Now, this is something which has been wanted for quite a while from what I can tell. The idea of going up against each other on a one-on-one, it's certainly new to Gears. You know, we've had a mercenary playlist on Gears 3, but that didn't really solve anything because it was just single players going into a team-based game, which it's not ideal. Free-for-all, however, completely changes that because now you don't have to rely on anybody else. If you don't win, it's down to you. Simple as that. There was someone better than you in the game, and you haven't won simply because you weren't good enough. Not because someone keeps dying over and over again because he's absolutely rubbish and he just happened to be on your team. Now, the premise of free-for-all is very simple at its core. You all spawn in, 10 players, and the first to a certain number of kills wins. Simple as that. From the videos that I've seen, it seems as though the kills to reach will be around 25 or 30, although that could change because who knows when these videos were taken. But it's going to be hectic, let's be honest. At any one time there's going to be 9 people that you can kill and loads of power weapons to basically help you do that. And with the added features from Gears Judgment to make it more faster paced in general, it's going to be quite an action packed game type. It might not last that long, I can't see the rounds lasting very long, but that's probably the whole idea. In and out straight away, quick game, and have as much fun as possible. I know that personally I'm really looking forward to trying it out. And so with those 2 pretty new game types out of the way, we're left with 2 of what you might be more familiar with. Team Deathmatch and Domination, which is an evolution of King of the Hill. Now, Team Deathmatch is pretty much exactly the same as what we used to from Gears 3. The only real difference is that the counter for deaths goes up. So it's going to be, I think, from the videos I've seen, around 50, but again, that could change. But once a team reaches 50 kills, that's it, the game's over. There aren't going to be any chances for any clutch moments like on Gears 3. But other than that, it's exactly the same. Now, Domination is very different. It's basically King of the Hill, but with 3 hills, and these hills don't move. So with a team of 5, you're not really going to be able to cover all of the hills unless you're against some absolutely garbage players. You're going to have to choose 2 hills to go for, and maybe find positions to defend them using 3 people on one hill and 2 people on another, something like that. It's going to be very tactical, I think, and a lot better than King of the Hill, where, you know, a team would capture a hill and then just camp out at it for the full points. Now you're going to have to dynamically change which hills you go for as the game progresses, and you always want to have 2 hills that your team controls. Again, from what I've seen in the videos, the points to reach are either 200 or 250, and basically as long as you have 2 hills over your opponent, you're always going to get 2 points every time your opponent get 1 point. So you're going to increase that gap, and that's all you're bothered about doing. You can leave 1 hill for them to get as they want, because you're not really bothered. As long as you're getting more points than them, it's fine. So I'd just like to finish off with 2 quick things. The first is that we don't know whether there's going to be rounds at all. There could just be that you enter the game, play the game, one round, and that's it. You start another game straight after. The maps aren't as symmetrical as they used to be, or at least don't seem it, so there might not be that need to switch teams around, or it might just happen within the one game. And secondly, survival mode. Now this has been released, well, announced via the achievements list, and it hasn't actually been officially stated what it is. It's my opinion that it'll just be Overrun, but against AI opponents. Locust, you're always the cog, where you just have to basically see how long it can last. Now it has been said that it's class based, which is why I think that, and it's just a way to sort of satisfy those who used to play Horde whilst using Overrun, essentially. That's my opinion anyway. But we've come to the end of this video now, so I'd like to hear from you. What are your opinions on the new game types? I personally can't wait to play them, but I'd like to know what you think. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.